Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to create a test environment based on your live one. So why do you need a test environment? In some cases, it's useful to make changes to the test environment prior to changing them in the live system. This is recommended for updates to make sure everything runs as intended and smoothly without interfering with your live system. In this way, you can see whether all the installed plugins are compatible with the new version of Shopware. For example, if your shop is done and you need to run some debugging tools and make some tests, you better do this in the test environment first and then at the end apply them to the live environment. And in case you want to make some changes and test some things in the system that you don't want your customers to see in the storefront, you may want to do this in the test environment first and then apply this to the live environment if you wish. The easiest way to set up a test environment is to copy the live shop into a secondary directory. The public folder in this directory can then be accessed through, for example, a subdomain of the hoster. Compared to Shopware 5, it's not recommended to copy the test environment into a subdirectory of the main shop, but rather to do this and copy the test environment into a secondary directory of the main shop, as otherwise problems may arise in the operation of the test environment. So now I'm going to copy the files and directories from the live environment folder to the newly created folder. This is my live environment folder and below is the test environment one. So I'm gonna double click and go inside the live environment folder and copy all the files here to the newly created folder. Before doing that, just make sure that all the hidden files are also copied. It's important that for example you copy .env, .htxs files, and those kind of files starting with that may not be displayed directly. In this case, you may need to adjust the display settings of the program that you are using to copy the files. So I already copied and pasted here in the test shop created folder. After all the files are copied from the live environment to the newly created test environment directory, next step is creating an empty database. So open the database overview. In my case, it's Admina, and click on the create a database. We should give a name here, SW6420 test shop, and as collation it's recommended to use UTF-8 MB for Unicode CI, and then we save the newly created database. So this newly created database can now stay as empty, and we'll proceed to the next step. In the next step, we should change the env file by adapting this file of the test environment according to the database we just created. The file is located directly in the root directory of the test environment. In the file, the line beginning with database_URL must be adjusted. So behind the equal sign, you will find the information of the database. At the very end, behind the slash, is the database name to be used. Here you must enter the newly created database name. So in our case, it's SW6420 test shop. And you should also adjust the app URL entry so that the complete call for the test shop is stored there. So for instance, I'll put after the slash SW6420 test shop / public. It may also be necessary to adjust the entry under Composer Home, but this is only necessary if the path stored there leads you to the Shopware directory. If the Composer is located outside of the Shopware installation, no adjustment is necessary. So now we are going to copy the contents of the live database to the newly created test database. This is possible via the export-import function within Adminer. If you are using another interface like phpMyAdmin, it's going to be most probably the similar export-import function that you can use. So for the export, we are going to select the live database, which is Shopware, and then we are going to click on the export here, and usually you don't have to make any adjustments to the settings, and you can perform the export just by clicking export here in Adminer. So in the name of the live database name, the extension with the extension SQL, you can save the export file, and to perform the import, we are going to select go back and the test environment, and then click on import, and we should select the file here, just download it from the live system with the extension SQL, and hit the button execute. So now we have already exported the tables from the live environment database and imported them to the test environment database. And as you can see, the live environment tables seem similar as the tables in the test environment. And now let us proceed to the next step, where we will try to access the storefront of the test environment, and whether we have to adjust some settings in admin. Finally, it's necessary to adjust the domains of the sales channels in admin. You can reach the admin of the test environment under the URL that you have entered in the env file by adding a /admin in the end. The username and the password will be the same as the live environment credentials, and in admin you just select the sales channel here and scroll down to the domains part. In order to edit the URL of the domain, just click the context menu and click edit domain. So at the end of the URL, you can just add the URL of the test environment and click on edit domain. So we have adjusted the domain here, and then we can save the new settings. So now the test environment URL is there and accessible and ready for you to make changes securely without interfering with the live environment. Before closing, I want to state two tips about the extensions. Some extensions store an app URL in the database, which contains the URL of the Shopware installation. In the copy of the database created here, this URL then no longer matches the URL of the test environment in the secondary directory. This leads to a message when the admin is called up for the first time, saying that your shop domain has changed. Here you select the second option, reinstall your apps, and this automatically adjusts the entry in the database. The second tip I want to share with you is that some extensions may not have been installed from Shopware Store or may require a monthly fee to be paid to the plugin manufacturer. In any of these cases, you should consult the manufacturer of the extensions so you are not billed twice for a copy of the database.